Welcome to College and Cocktails. It is 2023, you guys. This is the show we do every week for our Club Gym Nerd members. We do it during Club College,
season.
which is
Club
not
college
college.
season.
We do it during NCAA season after meets on Friday nights. And this is exclusive for Club Gym Nerd members to thank them for supporting us all year long and helping us pay for things like going to world championships and going to NCAA championships. But tonight, it's open to everybody because we're hoping that this is your first time here. You're like, oh my God, I've been missing out on this. Behind the scenes is the greatest thing ever. What have I been doing
people
tonight?
who are so delightful and funny and have hard opinions on things?
So we hope you will, if you're not already a member, join us at gymcaster.com, join the club tab. And for all of you that are already members, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You guys are the best. And also remember, you can listen to this on your favorite podcast. So you can't join us live on Friday nights. That's okay. You can listen on your favorite podcast player. This show is rated R/14-ish level-ish. So you will hear cussing because I have a lot of feelings. And after we talk about who made their cocktail, I made I have to get my stick gimmick out.
Are you actually having alcohol?
No, I'm having the mocktail version, obviously, because I'm already fun without needing anything extra.
I, on the other hand, am not.
Lindsay's is, if she can, making us cocktails, a new cocktail each week. But if she can't do it every week, it's fine because we can have this one again.
We won't hold you to it. We won't hold you to it.
Because it's so good. And so this week's cocktail and mocktail is called the stick gimmick, which I love because she said that this is because Super 16, she says it's a winter refresher drink and has a stick gimmick of its own. And so this, you top it with a garnish of a clementine wheel and an awkward cinnamon stick that may just be there to get the crowd worked up. She's an artist, you guys. To Lindsay's and the 2023 college season. Let us drink.
Recipe in the forum.
Recipe in the forum every week, and we'll try to tweet it out and put it in the newsletter because you guys will start getting the 5th rotation newsletter. Now,
I'm not having a stick gimmick because Jessica texted me the recipe and I don't have any of the ingredients for it except bourbon. So I was like, that's not happening.
We had to go to 2 different stores to get it. Because I was like, and then Coop learned about the section of the liquor store called the cordials, which I thought was just something in old-timey movies in the South, but apparently the ingredients to this are called cordials.
I mean, basically.
So, also, can I just start with just a general rant?
You want to start with Morgan Hurd? Or no? You have... Because I want to talk about Morgan a lot.
Okay, let's talk about Morgan, and then I can save my rant.
Well, it was Morgan Hurd's college debut, and it went interestingly on bars. Did you see her bars routine?
I didn't see it, but I read your description of it. I saw her face afterward. And I just want to say that Morgan Hurd will not be denied. Basically, she was like, I'm making a comeback and you will remember my comeback.
You will remember these handstands.
It will make it so memorable.
She started out on bars. The Ray to Pack combination looked great. That was beautiful. If she could just do releases and transitions as her whole routine, I think it would be great. Yeah. The handstands, the pirouettes weren't really there. She struggled on the low bar a couple times and it was just like, done with this. And then she peeled off on the high bar and was like, okay, it's time to salute. We're leaving. Goodbye. But she did come back and hit a beam routine. So I was worried that it was going to be like a Bailey Key, where we just saw one routine in the 8s and then that was her whole college career. But it's not, because she came back and she hit beam. It was a little wobbly, but like,
but she did angry beam, and that's what we're really here for. Like, isn't that why like beam was invented, just to do angry beam after you fall on something else? Yeah, so I enjoyed that very, very much. I do want to talk about these fucking camera people who are in their first goddamn fucking job, and it's like they've never worked a sport before. They're just like, oh, it's like, can you imagine if they did this in the NFL or like the Olympics? They were like, oh, it's the first day of the Olympics, so we don't have to try too hard. Let's just shoot the camera right into people's crotches and zoom in so we miss the whole fucking routine and like not pay attention. And they're like, oh, you've never produced anything for television before? Here, try your shot at gymnastics. Nobody watches this. Meanwhile, I'll have you know, because I did not do the math, but I yelled some numbers at fact checker and he did some math. Utah has more people attending their meets than 95% of the fucking men's basketball meets. Yet here we have
about that on the broadcast, right? They had some
They didn't say the percentage. They
didn't say
15.
the percentage.
They're in the top 15. Yeah. They more than
and you yelled to fact checker.
There are 300 blah 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 teams. What percentage is that? So anyway, shout out to Coop for doing math. But listen, this isn't some fucking beginner shit. Get some people in there and fucking know what they're doing. Every goddamn first month of gymnastics, we have this shit. And the beginning commentators. Oh, you guys.
We got Bart and Kathy at the end of the evening.
Oh my God.
Well, it's not the end, because in 10 minutes we're starting
we have
the next session of the Super 16. Well, let us know in the comments what's happening at that meet, because we have too much to talk about.
Dustin says, so Jessica is in fuck mode. I'm here for it. Welcome to everyone who's here for the first time. It is Unfiltered Friday Nights. I mean, Jesus, how many commentators just sounded like they did I say basketball meets? Obviously that's what they should be. I only go to basketball things for the part where they have the trampolines come out and flip into the basketball. Those people.
Jessica watches basketball meets and football recitals, and that's what she will deal with.
This is sober Jessica, everyone. That is right. This is why I don't need to drink. Anyway, how many commentators sounded like they were like angry, or who called the bean things in Florida? I kind of like this, actually. Who was doing the Florida commentary and called the
Sydney Johnson Sharp?
Is that, and she called the beat jumps a twiddle or a Twitter or a flibbity?
Some people do. Some people do call it that.
What did she call it?
A twiddle jump.
A twiddle.
Right?
A tweet jump, like a glitter jump. It was hilarious. Anyway,
you can tell that she learned what the things
Twinkle
are called
toes. Twinkle toes. That's what you call it. Twinkle
learned
toe?
What the things are called from her mom, because she has a lot of like the things that they used to call things before the internet, when everyone learned like, oh, so we call it like a wolf turn. That's what we're calling it. It's like you can tell in that way.
Oh, I did. Oh, speaking of throwback things that we got today, I did love that we got from, it's KJ, who does KJ, right, on the LSU team, who's bringing back like.
Oh, I thought you meant KJ Kindler.
No. KJ on the
KJ
LSU,
Johnson.
KJ Johnson, who's bringing back the whole spirit of like theater makeup with her like Gone with the Wind meets like a murder doll aesthetic, and I love it because her gymnastics fits. And she did the planche, she did the reverse planche, straddled. Like, that was so cool. Oh, a squat turn instead of a wolf turn, says Nathan. Yes. Yes, exactly. A squat turn, which honestly, that's what it is. No wolf
you are
is
squatting.
Embarrass itself with a turn like that. Wolves are majestic.
I think squat turn's a better name for it because it makes it sound as ugly as it is.
Yes. I appreciate it so much. Gymnastics fan asked Jessica, do you watch Fisk? I did watch Fisk. Here are the thing, my thoughts.
Did you cry after their first routine when Corinne was crying?
No, I didn't. But I have to divorce myself from the idea of it's a competition, which is not hard for me, because I'm like, scores, who cares? Making history, like being a part of something huge and amazing. And like, basically, like they have the resources of a club team, but they're competing against D1 teams. Like they're not even the NCAA yet, but they're like, we're going to make a big deal of it right now. And it was so that, and Morgan Price. Oh my God.
Yeah, Morgan Price is your Chinkle fall.
Oh my God. It's so good. So like that was the part I had to just be like, this is so historic and this is a huge deal. And I wish there had been a lot more people there to watch it. But it was, that's like, that is just, it was an amazing day. It's an amazing day to be a college gymnastics fan. And I'm very happy about that. That's how I felt about it.
Lots of potential on vault and floor. I'm like, they're getting there.
Yeah.
They're getting there. They're a new team and like a smaller program, so you're like, yeah, the bars isn't going to be there, which was kind of typical that we expect of like D3 teams. But I think we saw the potential for growth there in a lot of the rotation, so that was encouraging gymnastically.
Yeah. So what other, did you have any, I did want to talk about the Utah's Leo, because we do have to talk about a little bit about the Utah meet, but the velvet,
which was our main plan. Jessica
it
said,
was
what are we
our
talking
main
about? And I was like, LSU Utah is what we're going to talk about. It's been 10 minutes, we haven't mentioned it once, except for KJ Johnson's hair, the most important news.
Hair and makeup, the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's a whole,
it's a style, it's a thing.
Yes.
And the leg warmers that aren't leg warmers, but they're basically, it's like leg warmer style that I
want her to do like a creepy Halloween doll floor routine. That, remember was it University of Arizona, that Canadian that did the creepy haunted Halloween routine, and I feel like that would be so perfect for her, like the aesthetic that she's doing. I love it.
I feel like that's not what LSU does on their floor routines. That's not the kind of direction they go, but they really need to for her.
Boo.
Like maybe her senior year, they just need to be like, go see that. What is that movie with the like creepy
Megan?
Megan,
creepy comedy.
Go see Megan, and then you're gonna do that as a floor routine.
What we have to do is like McCool. Well, maybe that McCool's had her third kid now. Maybe like her whole vibe will change, and she'll see the world differently. And she'll be like, you know what, me and you, I need a break from these babies. I'm gonna go take you to the movies, and we're gonna create a floor routine based off this. That's my dream.
Finally, having a third baby is why you is when you lose your gauge and you stop being like, everything stops being like, and you loosen up a little bit.
Yes.
I do love the Leanne Wong's gaugishness, because we barely saw any of her beam routine because Trinity had just gotten a 10.
Yeah.
And we saw her basically finish and look miserable, so you would have assumed she fell. She got a 9.85. It was like she hopped at her dismount. She was like, well, my life is over. And that's why I identify with Leanne Wong.
I did enjoy Utah's Leo, like the black velvet. I always like a velvet, but not a crushed velvet because it's not the 90s. But the little upper butt wings in the back, I love that little flourish.
12 minutes in, we've already reached the butt wings portion of the episode.
It looks so good on their backs. The front's a little busy, but I also I did. Anyway, I'm just looking at my own notes and laughing at them. Everything's fine, you guys. Did you also see, speaking of that meet, that the Salt Lake Tribune, who's been like blowing smoke up Utah's butt for 1,000 years, they are partnership with promoting that team like nobody's business, and I love it. I'm here for it.
After the work Marsden put in to get them to cover them back in the day,
right?
I think it's worth it.
Exactly. Whatever Marsden had to do. So they did a whole story about Abby Brenner joining the fucking team. Not one mention in that article about her being a fucking national champion. Nothing. She's a marketing major, and she was like, wow, this Utah team really does good with the marketing. I think I should go there. And they were like, yeah, she's good on vault. We're excited to have her. No mention that she's from a team who won the national championship. I was like, that is the shadiest shit ever. We don't care what you did.
You do not acknowledge the championships of enemies.
No one's ever won except us. We had 10 of those wins.
There hasn't been a national championship since 1995.
Everybody knows that.
Women started in 1982 and they stopped in 1995. And that was it. They had a 13-year run and then it was over.
Oh my God, and I was waiting for them to say it on the broadcast too, but then like Kathy finally saved the day and was like, she did. Morgan Lane live has a question in the chat.
What do you think about LSU Reed Clark's overall bar strategy of quick and aggressive? Will they score as well as others that way? I don't think so. Bars didn't go awesome today, but it was fine for a first meet. I think that I I think their handstands were short, but so maybe that's an issue of like quick and aggressive, or maybe that's just like it's the first meet of the season and that's kind of a normal thing. I really did like watching Aaliyah Finnegan today, and how
Oh,
what interesting difficulty, how much difficulty, how crisp, how clean. I thought she was the real highlight for LSU.
Pike Delchev and the double
She's
front
doing, yeah.
Arabian.
Pike
Uh,
Jelchev, double Arabian. She's doing a double, like, back handspring layout, step out on beam. I thought her floor passes were so good. She is doing the Elmelian on vault. It was just like, this is what we're looking for across the board. This is what we're looking for.
honestly, watching her and watching Aker do beam, I was like, this is why everyone should just be
everyone else quit.
That's why everyone should just be like, fuck this whole USA gymnastics thing. I'm gonna find another country and compete for them. Cause like I'm also Bryant at LSU. I'm waiting for like Ireland or Jamaica or someone to be like, would you like us to pay you a lot of money and you can live in the green hills or the beaches with a cocktail and we will pay you to win
Azerbaijan move. That's a Kazakhstan
who cares?
move.
Who wants to see her vault more? Why do we have it limited to 5 years or 4 years or whatever to NCAA? I want to see that vault forever. These are my wishes.
Well, dial 1-800-Kazakhstan and be like, so Kazakhstan hasn't done a lot of that on the gymnastic side, but they do this in a ton of sports where they just like, like Azerbaijan did with Pavlova, and people just like, we'll give you some money, come compete for us. I think they need to get on gymnastics and just be like, Haley Bryant, come on.
Honestly, Aiden says, I love to see the Gage girls thriving in NCAA. Yes. And it's like, you can see, Genmar says, Akers Beam won me over today. And you can see, like, I mean, Akers Beam was always fantastic. And it's even better now. It's just like
that you don't have. They're not trying to make her do things that she's not going to get credit for.
Yes, and she can just be in more Kara Aker, like more dramatic Swan Lake beam ballet on the. Oh my! How did she make her mount though? She did that like switch onto the beam, and I swear to God, it was like a switch quarter to the like her leg was like, I'm pointing at you over in the crowd, and then she brought it back.
Like, whip that leg so far. She was just like, what I do, I'm so flexible that what I do is just whip my leg behind me and we'll see where it goes. And we'll see who it kills. And if it's some people, it's fine because it's worth it for the beauty of Kara Akers beam.
I was like, oh my God, she's going to straddle the beam so hard. She's going to have no skin up both sides of the insides of her legs. But no, she was like, I made it. I'm Kara Aker. Thank you. And I'm Swan Lake.
And Swan. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that routine so much. Oh,
I like that we're seeing like Lindsay says, is 1-800-Kazakhstan the name of next week's drinks? Yes. Get on it. I love that we're seeing routines for, like, I know it's kind of an unfair reputation, but the reputation for Utah is sort of that, like, what is the line from Stick It? Like, safe, solid routines guaranteed to hit?
Yes.
Or whatever the line. That's Utah's reputation. And, there have been decades and decades. So, one pigeonholing is not accurate. But we're seeing like the Kara Aker beam, the Jaylene Gill strap floor, which I feel like it's a stereotypical music choice of being like, you're elegant, so we're going to give you this music. But still, I could watch it all day long.
First of all, I have a totally different take on Jaylene Gilstrap. Her beautiful execution, her extension through her toes, the turnout from the hip, not the foot. Thank you very much. This is the thing about her. Like, I feel like you take a gymnast like that and you have a shitty choreographer or shitty coach and they get to college and they're like, listen, you're in college now. You need to shake your ass and do a like basic bitch hip hop routine.
But they would say it like they're saying, oh, you need to get out of your shell or like change it up or experience something different.
Right,
so we're going to give you a completely like opposite of your personality and gymnastic sensibility floor routine.
Right, some complete bullshit. But I love that they have given her, and she is doing a routine that is up to the level of her artistic and like, elegant potential. Yeah.
Landon says, DiCello broke the Florida all-around record for a freshman debut. I was impressed with her. I was as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it was surprising that she just came in and was like, yeah, I'm ready to do the all-around. But I think we saw, with DiCello, it's always been like, and also Kayla DiCello's here. And it's like, she's, hitting and doing difficult work, and it's well executed, and yes, you're deserving the scores you're getting, but it's just kind of there. And I think we saw moments of real elegance, like on bars. I was like, this is just a beautiful bars routine. This is just well executed. The toe point's there. This is exactly what we're looking for. This isn't just like I'm finagling the code to get my score up there. This is like, oh, this is beautiful gymnastics. So I was Kara Aker. I was going to say Kara Aker went up in my estimation. Yes, she did, but she was already pretty up there. Kayla DiCello went up in my estimation.
Also, did Morgan Hurd succumb to the White Leo curse, but then break the curse on B? Are we agreeing that Morgan broke the curse? Like, I think that should be a legend.
I don't know. I feel like Florida's performance really reinforced the White Leo curse, if anything, because so Savannah Shanehair got injured like yesterday or something. She broke her foot.
Doing non-gymnastics. Remember the year
I really want to know the story, because she was just like, it's a non-gymnastics injury, and I'm like, but what injury? What was it an injury of?
Remember the year at Stanford
when
like everyone broke something on the Stanford team, but none of it was all Stanford school related activities, and none of it was gymnastics. Like one person was like running with the school band or some sort of like rah college activity and broke her ankle, and you're like, what are you doing? Stop that. Stop.
Let me pop my cigarette in and be like, this is why you don't let the gymnasts do anything else. This is why they gotta stay in the gym all day.
Are you okay? It's hard to imitate a smoker.
I was trying to do a smoker's voice and it was like I went too far.
Aiden says, I feel like Morgan was not expecting to go on bars before Seth's injury, of course. But what happened to Price? Because I missed that.
Oh, no, to Sloan Blakely.
Sloan Blakely.
On Florida's team. She fell on her double Arabian and then got injured maybe. She had to stop her floor routine. She hurt herself enough on her second pass that she had to stop her floor routine. I don't know any of the updates, but I'm like, after Shanehair and now Sloan Blakely, like, Florida, you're deep, but not like that deep.
But this is also good because everyone's getting their weird injuries out of the way. Thank God, as someone pointed out in the comments here, that Aaliyah Finnegan, not Aaliyah, yes, Aaliyah Finnegan is the one. That's the current Finnegan, right? Aaliyah.
Yes, Sarah's the previous Finnegan.
Which Finnegan are we on?
One prior Finnegan.
Laura says her tripping after vault and Kathy working it right into the commentary. Oh, it was so gymnast. It was so I'm a gymnast. I did 25 flips in a row. Boom.
Someone said that LSU did not mark their out of bounds lines on the mats on floor, which yes, there is. You do have to do that if you're putting a mat on, but I didn't notice anything.
I didn't notice either. I did notice several people with a mat landed off the floor, even when they had not like flipped and landed off the floor. Oh, they have seen that at a meet before too. Double pike to land on the basketball floor. Not a mat or the extra mat or the floor at all, but, bounced out or fell back and, were caught by random people standing around. Allison has a fact check for us. Has someone pointed out that Kayla didn't actually break the all-around record on debut? Alyssa Bauman was higher. We've already got our first controversy of the season. Oh my God. So did Florida say that she broke the record, but she really didn't break the record? Is that where that stat came from? Or was it some beginner statistician who's never worked a gymnastics meet before and isn't doing their job? Stone here said Sloan's okay. Who's Stone here? That might be an autocorrect situation. That looks like a text I would get from Jessica. That looks like it. If I was auto-texting that, it would say that would be shown here, but instead it came out Stone here. The amount of times Jessica tried to dictate a text to me this week with the word meat, and it wrote it as MEAT. It was all I could do to keep it to myself. She'd be like, what meat are we watching? What meat do you want? And I was like, roast beef? I don't know what you're talking about. I did dictate to you that I knew how to spell meat, yes. But it was Siri spelling it meat. And it spelled it MEAT both times. Mm-hmm.
One time? This is more than one time.
Anywho, you guys, whew, I'll work on my on my dictating to you better.
Thank you for the people giving us the updates. A hit for Georgia to start on Beam. It's a new world.
Also, oh my god,
we've already beat expectations for the season.
did you hear that? Did you catch during the Utah broadcast? I don't know if you have any of the sound turned on, but apparently,
I'll turn it on for Kathy.
Yeah, for Kathy and Bart and Sam, like that's the team. Jay Clark is calling his team the Six Pack, as in like the Caroli Six Pack back in the day. No,
Triggering.
We're gonna cancel that right now, Jay. Let's take a step back. Let's reevaluate your life, please. Also, Jay Clark sounded like he smoked 1,000 cigarettes before.
He lost his voice or something.
He
Yeah,
totally did.
Or just screamed. He just got so many 9/7s today. What are we? He lost his voice because they got so many 9/7s on Beam.
I did appreciate that
leg position matters.
LSU got to Utah so early to do like snow things, and apparently they got stuck on a mountain for a short amount of time, or a ski lift or something, or a gondola area. But
Sure.
Did you notice they had no altitude problems? I'm just gonna say, get there a little early. Makes a difference. This is what everyone should do. Just what's school for? No one needs that. Clearly, since none of these elites even live in the city that their school is in anymore.
No, please. I didn't think we saw that many first meet, low, last pass, moments.
No,
the Utah meet.
Yeah, I expected way more. I didn't see any Olivia Dunn signs. Did you see Olivia Dunn signs?
Yeah, there were some like Livy Dunn, like, yay, we follow you on TikTok. Fans. Great. Good for them.
Oh, Tom Farden is calling his seniors the Six Pack, not Jay? Oh, I heard that totally opposite. But it is hard for me to pay attention to what people are saying because I'm concentrating on the gymnastics. I'm taking my notes. I was watching 2 meets at the same time. And then when I like to have...
Wow, good for you.
Okay, mister. I watch 17 meets and can live blog 7 different things at the same time and remember things. That's nice for you, Spencer. We all can't be a human spreadsheet. But listen, the other thing that I do is that I put the same meet on 2 TVs so that one I can watch it on the top, and if I miss something really quick, I can look at the other stream and get it that way. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like you have it on the TV and then on your computer, so it's slightly later on the online stream. I do that as well.
Yeah. Like I was like, did who did the gainer front layout dismount from Utah, I think, and I loved it so much off the side. And I love it.
Good
and I was like, let me watch that again. And then look down at the other one. Oh, so good.
I'm trying to fix my blurry screen for the people who are watching.
I know. I don't. Spencer got all dramatic and waved his arms. And
there we go.
If you guys are listening,
I should never do that. Never have 3/4 of a cocktail and then wave your arms.
Oh, did you appreciate the candy stripe gym, the arena at Utah? How they had...
Sure.
I liked that. They had like white section and then red section of white and red, and they did it all the way around. It looked cool. It was something different. That's probably like common in other sports balls, but I didn't...
I mean, I think it's like a, whatever the theme of the candy stripe the huntsman or whatever we're doing is, but like, sure.
It was very like...
I would feel like I would be the one who didn't do the theme, and then everyone would be looking at me.
Did you also...
you didn't wear red, even though you're in section 15? Boo.
Did you see the people at the very top putting their lights on their phone and then holding their phones up during the meet, during Beam, while LSU was on Beam? And I was like, I would be up there so fast and I would drag you out by the back of your shirt. No warning. If you do that one time, I don't care that you're 175 feet away. No. It's a no.
If Dee Dee had been there instead of at the Super 16, she would have dragged those people out by their hair.
She would have. Oh.
She would have murdered them.
Also, what at the Super 16 meet? They had like... Can we talk about that meet for a second?
Yeah, we can talk about that meet for a second. It's going on right now.
What, did they record those advertisements like that day?
Oh, the advertisement for that. What is this rehab place? Okay, so if you didn't watch, on the broadcast of the Super 16 meet, there were 750 advertisements for this rehab facility I've never heard of, with like KJ Kindler and Olivia Troutman and Luisa Blanco, and were there any others? And I was like, what is this place?
And Jordan Childs. Wasn't it called Childs, like they showed, Paradigm or something? But it was like mental health services. What is it? Paradigm Healthcare, is that it?
I wanted to remember to ask you about this because I was like, I bet Jessica knows all the scoop about this place.
It just seemed odd. Like they weren't, I mean, obviously KJ was perfect, like, you know, but it just seemed weird. Like normally when they do these, they're like, you know, they get ready and like everybody has their hair done and their makeup and they're like, we're doing a commercial now. But everyone looked like they just rolled out of bed or just finished.
Jessica isn't the one who's been drinking, but she just said rolled out of bread.
They rolled out of practice and right in front of the camera, and the edits were cut so many times, which obviously is what I noticed immediately.
They had to, you know, put something together from what they got.
I know. I was like,
but yeah, this was also a sponsor of the meet. Like there were signs for this thing around. So obviously they shot these when they got there.
It wasn't like all of them were like, we just got back for rehab and let us tell you what we want to talk about. Yeah. Oh, apparently this candy stripe thing is a sports ball thing. So anyway, I enjoy it in gymnastics. Also, I want to talk about the other thing at the meet. Everyone has rolled out of bread for the meet with an MEAT. Yes, thank you guys. All right, I'm never gonna hear the end of this. Nope. The other thing about the meet is like they were projecting that there is a big like scoreboard in this arena at the Super 16, like an actual big, you know, board, but they were projecting the scores onto big, like the thing that you used to use in an old-timey office to give a PowerPoint presentation on the projector, like in high school in the 80s. So people there like couldn't see the scores, or they were like,
great.
Someone would walk in front and then there was just a shadow over the scores. And like, thank God the scores were actually free, because earlier in the day, I was like, oh, Spencer, you haven't fixed this on your website yet. You should put in a link to the scores. Here it is. Like, I had thought of something like, Spencer had, and I was so proud.
It's Meet Scores Online, which tries to get you to subscribe. And they have a big thing like live results available. Click here to pay us $5. And which I guess I can't make fun of because we are charging people to be Club Gym Nerd members and watch our shows, but still.
But we're not a $3 billion organization. Well,
this is Meet Scores Online. This isn't the NCAA.
But still, shouldn't the NCAA be licensing their services and paying them? Honestly, come on.
Really,
Meet Scores.
I mean, they have to fix all the scoring.
But anyway, it ended up.
We don't even get the judges' assignments this year. I was on road to nationals, and I couldn't find the judges' assignments. And I was like, I need to know the identities of the people who are giving this vault a 9-9. Okay,
also, how did you feel about the scoring? Because at first I was like, this is way too low. But then the scores that's scored high.
Literally never happened in NCAA. There's never been a situation where the scoring was, this is way too low.
But I felt like the
at
10s
the Utah
were
LSU
10s.
Meet, I felt like they held it together. I thought the judges held it together, mostly. There were some weird comparison things, like Elena Arenas, Yurchenko full versus some of the, like the first Utah Yurchenko full. I thought we had a weird variation there. But I was in general glad that like routines that I think should be 9-9 that I would assume would get 10s just because NCAA actually got 9-9s at that meet. So I was happy about that. The Alabama meet I thought was out of control on vault.
Okay, Alabama, like having a 10-0 start value on every vault, though, and they looked really, really good. But here's the other thing. All of their vaults,
only did a full, but yeah.
Did she only? In my imagination, she always does, like, she always does a Rising Wong on vault.
Yeah. I'm always like, yeah, that was probably a Yurchenko double fall.
Yeah. But the thing that I noticed on Alabama, which is, I was super impressed by the difficulty of their vault lineup, and, like, their landings were good, and, like, but everyone had a shoulder angle off the vault. Everyone. And I was like, you can't, well, you probably could get a 10 with a shoulder angle,
You
But you're not
absolutely can get a
supposed
10.
to be able to get a 10 with a shoulder angle.
Makari Dugat, who I was loved in the all-around today, can
Oh,
lunge
so
forward, offline, soft knees, shoulder angle, and get a 9-9. You can get a 10 with a shoulder angle.
Also, do you love that they've added these fucking lines, but there's no deduction for like going on the line or over the line? They're just like, here's some lines.
It's so college gymnastics.
It's the most college gymnastics that it's ever happened.
Which it just ends up, I feel like they're going to have to fix this later because it just ends up confusing the audience, who are going to be like, wait, is there a deduction for going over the line? No. But the judges in their judges education material for this season are specifically telling each other, like, the direction deductions have not changed. You shouldn't do anything differently in your scoring. This is just how there are lines on the mat, which I think is kind of the way they were talking about it. Also, I felt some resentment in there because they were like, the coaches have decided to put these lines on the mat, but we're not changing our deductions because they think we need some help to figure out the direction deductions. But actually, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Morgan says they definitely deducted for KJ Johnson's for her being off to the side. I agree.
Yeah.
KJ Johnson did a very good Yurchenko full, and they definitely took a 10th because last season that was going to get 9.875 and she got 9.775. So I was like, great. If that's doing the job of saying, hey, direction, it's a deduction, and you can use it to separate vaults, ideal.
Kaylin says, off topic, but the amount of knee braces I saw at the LSU versus Utah meet were very worrying to me. The season just started. Oh, this is nothing. Oh, you guys, this is nothing. Wait till you go to a D3 meet. It's nothing but knee braces, and it's the big, like, old-timey ACL ones. The ones that if you don't have an ACL, you can keep competing. They're like an external fixator apparatus, like from a Frankenstein movie, those kind. Yeah, this is that. Also, did you see the gymnast today that had a back brace? An exoskeleton. It was a back brace with, like, flexible plastic rods in the back taped to her back for a routine, like taped around, like, let's make sure this back brace stays upright so your spine will stay on. I was like, what is this? I have never seen anything like this before. It was like Minnesota in the, like, Jim and Meg days back brace level, but worse. It was like when they put boning in a dress, boning.
The corset days?
Yes, but
yes,
on her back.
You said boning. We're all laughing, yes. But also, I understand what you were actually
about
talking
boning. About. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I had to say about that. An exoskeleton boning. That's the next level of AI robots that's coming. Don't worry about aliens. It's going to be that. Okay. So, wasn't the back brace on a Fisk gymnast on beam? Yes. Yes,
Jessica was
Allison,
trying to be delicate and positive about Fisk and by not identifying the gymnast, but Allison was on it.
But I can say, shout out to her for getting up there and doing that routine and being fucking historic, even though she had to wear a exoskeleton. Oh, because goddamn. Grace at the Utah meet trying her Grace McCall.
Uh-oh. Once again, Jessica's had no alcohol tonight. And just tried to say Grace McCallum. You mean Grace McCallum? Yeah.
Yes. Also, I love that they did it. They just said, like, she took the summer off from elite and got back her love and joy of gymnastics. And then she gave her interview, and basically the subtext was like, I fucking hate gymnastics after going from Olympics to Utah nonstop, this and doing the tour, and my life sucked and I hated everybody, so I just needed to, like, go hiking and play in the gym. And now I'm here again. You're welcome, everybody, which is so honest. Honestly, I don't know how anybody doesn't, after doing that kind of schedule, doesn't want to just burn down the gym. So good for her. Yeah.
That's why Jordan Childs took a month after Worlds, when they were like, Jordan Childs just got here from Worlds a month later.
She was like, I'm going on fucking vacation, bitches. That's where I am. Margarita Vitalis.
Margaret. Jessica's got alcohol in the brain again. She just pronounced Margaret as Margarita. Those back braces are actually called lumbar corsets.
Well, there you go. I wanted to pronounce your name, Margaret, Vitalis as a Margarita Vittles, but I didn't. And I think that's because you have a very adorable beagle dog as your avatar, and then I associated that with dog treats and Vittles. Lindsay says Jessica's drunk on gymnastics. That's right. Let me have another sip of my
Always.
delicious non-alcoholic beverage from our mixologist.
Jessica always and forever drunk on gymnastics.
That's right. Any comment on the Fisk allegations? So who was it that quit the school?
Leah
quit
Davis.
The yes, and I will read her allegations now. She essentially said, "I'm no longer at the university. I withdrew. Had high expectations. The irresponsible actions of the administration in not addressing my documented issues of bullying and hazing has forced me to make my safety and mental health a priority. I wish the team a lot of success." So I think every program has problems, and especially a program in the first year that's clearly underfunded is going to have problems. Those are my thoughts. Yeah. Especially, I mean, this is a team that basically is competing a Division I schedule with a club, intra-collegiate club budget, except for their coach. Their coach, who's also the athletic director, which is the worst conflict of interest ever. And I think there can also always be tons of conflicts of interest, but in a small school, it can often be like super compounded. So with 100 people doing, one person doing 100 jobs, like it's not uncommon. So yeah, it's not too surprising, I would say. Yes. Oh, Margaret
says, I totally answered a margarita.
Thank God. Let me see. Georgia went 48.95 on beam.
Okay, not horrible.
So that means they only
not
had
a 49, but like not a disaster, a huge disaster. I'll take it.
Okay. So, what did you think of Bryant's comeback on vault from LSU?
Her comeback?
Yeah. She was hurt. She did her normal vault. Handspring front half.
Yes, it was great. Her handspring front half was great.
It wasn't as laid out as she normally does it, but then again, she almost flared it after the half. It's still a full layout half turn, but I felt like it wasn't quite to the level she competed last time she competed it. But it's still the best fucking goddamn layout front half vault you've ever seen, Spencer. So my God. Give her a little credit. Who had the best double Arabian dismount?
Ooh.
I have the answer if you want to know.
Okay, what's the answer? I don't know.
Miley O'Keefe. Miley freaking O'Keefe.
She did stick, yeah.
Not even that. Her fucking flips were above the bar. She was like, I'm going to go above the bar, wave to the crowd, first flip. Second flip will be, like, I'll finish it at the level of the bar, and then I'll just drop back down to earth. You're welcome, everybody. I'm Miley O'Keefe. Yeah, that's how it was. I love the amount of double fronts we're seeing, and especially the double front half. So freaking cool. But, yeah, it was very
says,
good.
Being there in person, it looked like her block went more out than up this time.
Yeah. It's so good. But oh my God. Also, speaking of LSU, Sierra Ballard, right? Her hair pulling choreo, pulls her hair, turns herself around with it. Oh, I love hair pulling choreography. It's the best choreography. I can't get enough of it. Did you have any favorite choreography from today? The first day?
I'm too busy typing to pay attention.
Spencer.
I thought there was a lot of kind of dumpy choreography today.
There wasn't
a lot of boring choreography today.
Yeah, we didn't have anything that completely blew me away. I'm waiting to see like UCLA and Oklahoma to just see like, Rutgers is in first place after the first rotation.
Good for them. Sleeper hit.
Yes.
I'm worried about them because they have a couple serious injuries from people who are supposed to be good. Like Rachel Riley has been one of our favorite Canadian juniors for a while, and now she's at Rutgers and she's of course, injured and out for the season. So I was worried about Rutgers, but good to see them getting over 49 on the floor. Very important.
Speaking of choreography, I don't think this was intentional, but I'm going to take it as being intentional. So Kaya on floor from LSU landing her front tumbling pass and then like standing there like she was on
she's
her toes. Like
I am not, just everyone know I'm going to stand here for 85 minutes because I'm not stepping on this pass. And when I do step, you're going to know it's controlled. Because I'm going to stand on the balls of my feet for 9 hours.
I love that she just stood there like, I am sneaking around the house in the middle of the night and I'm not going to get caught. So, or I might have a secret, but I'm going to sneak over to tell you or not. And she just stood there and stood there and stood there. And I was like, yes, yes. No deductions. Nobody catch her sneaking around the house. Leave her where she is. I enjoyed it very much.
I'm not one to often think that college gymnastics scores are too low. I was surprised that she only got 9.9 for that routine.
Well, see, I told you there were low scores. What did I tell you?
I mean, I don't think overall they were low.
There's only been 110 so far today, right?
Trinity's
two? Beaten. Well, yeah, Trinity's beat. But there was there wasn't a perfect 9.95. I thought there was going to be, I thought Elena Arenas was going to get a perfect 9.95, and she didn't. And I was like, what?
But she did not stick.
Well, that doesn't count. It was perfect everywhere else.
It very specifically does count.
That.
It very obviously does count.
First of all, it was a Nadia stick. So that's
which is not a stick.
Okay, MSU Alabama.
Yeah.
When MSU gets all 10.0 vault, look the fuck out. They are going to kill all these other teams. They look so good. They are so in shape. Their cardio is out of control. They're so strong. Their choreography is good. They can't all be my favorite, Skylar Schulte. But my God, they're good. They're so good. And what are you going to do when your coach looks like a 1970s game show host? You can only go up from there. You can only win.
I feel like we spent a lot of time last season talking about Skylar Schulte and didn't talk enough about Gabby Steven, who was also a first year last year, because she really impressed me today.
She's so
Her dance elements are so good. I'm like, yes, elegance. This is what this is supposed to look like.
Yes.
I think there's a lot. Yeah, Michigan State, it's been such a dramatic change because, like, a year ago, if they got mid 196 in the first meet, you'd be like, this is a historic, amazing accomplishment. And now, after the end of last season, we're like, they only got a mid 196 because they're going to be so excellent. And you saw that in that bars rotation where they ended up getting some lower scores because of errors, but just the toe point is there. The legs together positions, the hands, like you can see that a month from now, that can be a rotation where everyone gets a 9.9.
Yeah. Yep. I just am so impressed with them. I just like I can't I love. And I love this configuration of art and athleticism together. Like the coaching staff seems to be exactly the right, because choreography is also obviously where you start a team and then you work down there to acrobatics. Who's going to coach bars, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of which, what do you think?
I thought you were going to say, because, coaching staff hasn't always been MSU's strong suit, but everything seems to be good now.
Who knew? All you needed to do was blow up that whole program and it would be this good. Like, maybe there were some problems there forever. What do you think UCLA is going to be like?
Ooh, it's always an adventure with UCLA.
Are they
cool to predict? But everything's so different there now that we can't just assume that UCLA, they're going to be a mess for the first 3 meets and then they'll pull it together and be amazing like the normal UCLA way. I don't know if that's Janelle's style.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be so interesting. I feel like their bars are going to be like amazing, obviously. It's going to be like the best.
They have the potential for every event to be amazing. Look at the people on this team. Oh, you're throwing out Emma Malabuyo and Brooklyn Moores and Shea Campbell and Jordan Childs. Like, you should be getting a 10 for every routine based on the talent of the people on the roster. So, we'll see if it gets put together.
Oh, Cordelia. Hi, Cordelia. Has an update for us. Okay.
Yes. Cordelia has the scores after the first rotation. Rutgers winning with a 49-1-5. Stanford's Anna Roberts with 9-9. Stanford started on vault. Anna Roberts is one of those first years for Stanford that was like, you fantasy gym people, get on her.
Oh, speaking of which, by the way, Spencer,
Mhm.
we're going to have a fantasy gym section of the show now. And we're going to do it like super fast. And it's going to be
Okay.
like, start them or.
Is it a problem that neither of us do fantasy gym?
Well, we have a secret weapon, Spencer.
Okay.
So I happen to be married to a sports ball dude who has been doing fantasy sports since he was like in middle school, when like
we talked about this.
He used to be the one of the kids that got the newspaper, like crinkly, and wrote them all down. So he's like, I'll do it. And I was like, what? Okay. You would like to do more work? Yes. Go ahead. So I'm very excited about this because I was like, I don't even know what you do. And he's like, oh, you do the for sports. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm very excited about this. Oh, Anna Cohen in the chat, huzzah. She already had Ann Roberts on her team. Gymnastics fan asked, are we going to do the fantasy sports for the live show or the regular weekly? This will be the regular weekly show. The fantasy big sports, show.
Big business.
That's right. When I swear I keep telling to try that he needs to sell his thing to one of these big business ones, because then they give you a budget and you get to like, I did start to sign up for it this year because his system is so good, the Gymlytics. But you know me, I started signing up. I did like 3 things and then got distracted by something else.
And then you got a text and you were like, she said what? Who? When? And then it was 8 hours later.
I came back to my screen like 3 days later and I was like, oh, it's too late. I missed the deadline. Oh, yeah, this is exactly what happened. Oh, Spencer, you know me so well. Fact checker is dying in the background here. Oh, my God. What else stood out to you today from the meets? I'm going through my list between, God, Finnegan was just so good. I just can't. I'm so excited to watch Finnegan this year. And I can't wait.
Interesting because I think Florida was the exception to this, but we didn't see a lot of freshmen, which is kind of something we talked about, that this, like last year, it was like, oh, the historic freshman class. And this year it's like, not a lot. Like LSU had Bryce Wilson on one event. We saw Gabby Gladio for Alabama, but they have a huge freshman class. Like Karis German, we didn't see at all.
Yeah,
for Alabama, and I was really excited to see her. Hopefully, we'll see her at later times. And like,
we didn't see Riley. That. Yeah, Amanda points out we didn't see Riley, except her crying after Morgan's beam routine, or Trinity's, all of them basically, which is her being happy for everybody. Yeah.
But yeah, in general, we didn't see like the big programs. Like we saw Michigan release their lineups. We haven't seen them compete yet, but they don't have any of the first years in lineups. So I'm thinking about like Michigan and LSU. I'm like, what happens if after these super seniors are gone, or what if your seniors this year decide not to take their 5th year, which is, up to them. What happens then are my questions. But someone did mention Nikki Smith for Michigan State. Great addition for them. She was one of the top level 10 gymnasts, so it's not a huge surprise that she also looked great in college, but she does.
Wait, these COVIDs get another year again?
You get your 5 years now for if you competed in the 2021 season, which wasn't even interrupted for most teams.
This is the stupidest thing ever. I will never stop being upset for the actual COVID seniors who didn't get an extra year. What the fuck? They still get another year? Ugh. Anyway,
if you were a freshman in 2021, that didn't count against you. You could compete 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025. We're going to be having this conversation in 2025 if we're not dead yet, which is a possibility.
I'm so done with this. Oh my God. We'll probably have another pandemic by then. Or we'll have all the people that are taking a year off to go to Paris, and then they'll be back, and then they'll have a whole nother freaking...
Yeah. I mean, everyone's hoping that Savannah Shanehair, she doesn't get to compete this year because of her broken foot, will take a 6th year.
She's not going to be out the whole year. It's a broken foot. She didn't tear any ligaments. She's fine. Unless she broke.
There are many degrees of broken foot.
All right, listen.
Because you could just be like Alicia Sacramone, I have a broken foot, I'm going to win the world vault title on my broken foot. Or you could be like, my foot is dust in a bag.
If her foot was like crushed under the wheels of a irresponsible driver's car or something, or one of those mopeds, they're tearing around on those mopeds in Florida, then, I mean, but as long as it's not like, she doesn't need to have like nails put in it and pins. I guess they call them pins, but like obviously they just nail it in there. Let's call it what it actually is. And she doesn't have a bunch of ligament damage and stuff like that. Just a little cracky poo. But if it is a navicular, then she's fucked. Those never heal.
See, you don't know. There are lots of variations, and we don't have the information.
If it's just a basic break, like boop, then she should be fine. But you never know. She might be like, oh, thank God, I want to take this year off and then come back for a 6th year and make more NIL money, which is what I would do. But do you love the irony of me being like, oh, I want these gymnasts to compete forever. They should go compete for another country when they're done. And also being like, oh, get rid of these COVID kids. I've had enough of them.
Yes, that is very typical for Jessica. Everything is dependent on the moment.
Yes, we have a report estimated recovery is 6 weeks, which is normal. Thank you, Shanna, for a break, 6 weeks to heal, as long as you're not like taking your boot off all the time and you actually do your rehab. You do leave it the fuck alone.
Who
basically.
Are you mad at?
You're
suddenly mad at someone for like actually do your rehab. Like, who are you talking to?
Not just in general. You know who I'm talking to? I'm talking to people who might be older people who might be in the family that I'm a part of who don't do their fucking rehab. That's who I'm talking to. And they're all men. FYI. Well, there's one woman too, but I think she does her rehab. Fucking men not doing their goddamn physical therapy exercises. That's who. Anyway, but Savannah's going to do her therapy. My God. I mean, okay, Jorge says.
The captain of my high school swim team broke her foot her senior year by accidentally driving over her own foot. Jumped out to say hi to someone and didn't get the car in park.
Oh my God.
That takes talent.
Oh my God. That sounds like that poor Marvel superhero Hawkeye guy who ran himself over with the snowplow. Jeremy Renner. Yeah. Oh, terrifying. Oh, geez, you guys. Morgan
asks what we think of the beam dismounts after the changes to the rules. Thought we saw so much more variety even just today. I'm very much in favor of this change.
Yes, we approve.
Now, the gainer full shouldn't be a C. Off the side shouldn't be a C. That's my next thing. But for now, I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, it is... But what if it... so a gainer off the end, though? A gainer full off the end? That's scary.
That's different.
But
I'm fine with the gainer full off the end.
Here's my thing. A gainer
and I'm fine with the front gainer full off the side, like Amelie Morgan did.
Yeah, because that's cool. I think it's easier, personally. That's the dismount I would do. I would do a gainers off the side because it's easier.
The front gainer off the side, not a back gainer?
Yeah, but people will be terrified because they never expected it. But because everything backwards terrifying, everybody knows that. But but I actually think that there should be lines on the beam dismount mat, and if you do a gainer and you don't land between the lines, you don't get C credit. Oh, controversial.
Whoa,
controversial. I know.
Whoa.
But you got
love it,
right?
I'm on board.
Because if you fling yourself off the side, that's not scary. It's not terrifying. The terror level should have to do with the credit value. Everybody knows that. How terrified are you? Are your palms sweating just thinking about learning this skill?
Yeah, but then just like flopping off the bars onto your head would be an E skill because of terrifying, if that were the standard.
Yeah, that's true. I'm looking in our questions that we have because we still have so many questions in here. Oh, we have a question. How do I watch from Catherine? How do I watch college meets? I feel like it's so hard to figure out how to watch college gymnastics. Spencer, it's like you have a whole website.
You can go to the Balance Beam Situation, balancebeamsituation.com, and find a weekly post of links to the streams for all of them. Now, you have to pay for almost all of it via a cable subscription or an actual streaming subscription, but the options are there if you're in the United States and have money.
I got information this evening from Gina who does adult gymnastics, the adult gymnastics camps.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, okay, because, we used to evaluate every year if we could get rid of cable, for crying out loud, but we couldn't because of the sports. Well, she just switched to YouTube TV. And she said she's been able to watch all the meets, and it saved her like $130 a month. So
Boom.
we are going to reevaluate, but YouTube TV might be the ticket. And if you're in another country, just use a VPN. I don't know if you can actually pay
but sometimes
to watch it.
The credit card situation of, having
I know, because
to pay
sometimes
for something.
It has to be a credit card from that country. So that's the only way you can do it. Gymnastics fan
says, if you have an unlimited data plan with Verizon Wireless, you get ESPN Plus free and Disney Plus and something else, probably Hulu.
There you go. So you can do that.
There are workarounds.
Yes. Morgan Lane says YouTube TV does have a lot. They have Big Ten and SEC. So we need to see if they have Pac-12, the Flibberty Gibbets, who are the other one? The middle of the country. Is that BTN? What's Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's still in the Big 12.
12.
And that's why we don't get to watch any of Oklahoma's meets unless ESPN picks them up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you watch some.
But you just tried to describe them based on the area of the country, which, as you know, is not anything anymore because UCLA is going to be in the Big 10.
I know it's not. That's why I asked what Oklahoma was on, because I don't know because they're going to be the SEC.
No one could ever know. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they have those two other ones, but maybe we should make a chart. Since we're going to look at that, we could throw up a little chart. But the nice thing about the balancebeamsituation.com master schedule and the
balancebeamsituation.com.
What did I say?
The balance beam. There's no the in the URL, is what I'm saying.
Balancebeamsituation.com, which is
very confusing in a way I enjoy.
Which I go to 1,000 times a day during college season, and only 100 times a day during elite season. Is that you have not only links to where to watch the meets and where to get the scores, but underneath that, he explains like, this is BTN and it costs this much. This is ESPN. But to watch this, you have to ESPN plus platinum up your butt. And then it's not as easy as just thinking you have ESPN. Oh, I can't stand these pluses that are being added on. It's driving me nuts. When you're a Club Gym Nerd member, you get fucking everything. We don't extra charge you. You already get it all. Oh, we are so benevolent. You're welcome, everyone. Okay, so that's how you watch. Let's see. Any other final questions before we call it a night? We did see that, just speaking of things that have nothing to do with college gymnastics, that Gabby Douglas is officially joined USA Gymnastics again. But I still don't think we'll see her for another year because she has to be in the pool, the drug testing pool, for like 9 months or something.
It's 9 months?
Isn't it 9 months or is it 6 months?
I don't actually know.
Well, if she did it now, she'll have 6 months before any real meet, like Classic, if she wanted to compete in Classic. So that's exciting. Also, you got a compliment as usual. Spencer's amazing diva actressness. Crafty CSW says, I just want to say how much I got a kick out of Spencer's comparisons to the best 2022 to amazing diva actresses. I love Kate Blanchett and Florence Pugh, as well as a round-off layout, beam mount, and jump L turns. Yes. So
some people get me, unlike Jessica.
Also, George, I told you so, SUNY edition.
Oh, because George is the person who asked about SUNY doing the sites.
Yes.
And we were like, it's really hard. And
no one's going to do that.
I think we conceded that like SUNY could or something.
Yeah.
And then she immediately was like, I have one and it's great. And I can connect it directly into a bardwage. And it's part of my composition, which is really smart for the new code.
So George says,
I would never say I told you so because it's completely uncouth, but how crazy is it that less than a month after I asked you guys if you guys thought it would be even possible for someone to do a sites to bardwage, SUNY has done just that. And based on her responses in the replies, it seems like she's not just messing around, she's planning on actually competing it. So my next question is, do you think she might ditch the Nabieva for a Downey now that they're both F-rated? I don't know if I've ever seen her compete any Stalder skills, and she seems to have an attachment to the Nabieva, but it would probably incur fewer form deductions and potentially free her up to replace the giant full with a toe full directly connected into her dismount for extra CV. Also, I told you so. Well done, George. Good
Okay,
one.
so now what I think happened was,
Mm-hmm.
you know, Suni was listening to this on her way to the gym, as we know she does, as documented in the documentary Golden. And she was like, oh, because it was literally like a week later that she posted it. So obviously it had to do with us. And so now I'm like, shit, we should do this all the time. So we should be like, what's never going to happen is someone doing a full twisting toe on Nabieva, which is already what a Nabieva is. A double twisting
full twisting is not, the Nabieva does not include a full twist.
A sights into a full twist just hanging on the bar, which you don't get any credit for, but it means that you can get a direct connection still to a bahardwaj, to a toe on full twist, another toe on something to the high bar, into a double twisting Nabieva, which will be a Suni.
Sure. Yeah, good.
The
do
other
it.
direction. So no one can ever do that, you guys. It's impossible, Suni. No,
actually,
no.
Literally. A double twisting toe on layout to Tkachev?
Yes, that's totally possible.
Okay.
It's not going to be pretty. You're going to catch the bar just flinging yourself straight down like an elevator passing the high bar. Like, it won't be laid out at all. But nobody can do it. So, wink, wink. Suni. We're waiting. No, we should think of something bring back something from the past that no one can do. Like, what else did people never do that we want to see again?
Oh, if anyone's looking for anything interesting, among the skills Nellie Kim named after herself in the Code of Points was an actual cool beam dismount that she did that was removed from the Code of Points for like 30 years, and then she brought just that one back and no other skills, which is like a weird beam dismount that starts as like an aerial cartwheel, and then there's also twisting, and it's really weird and cool, and it's only in the Code of Points because Nellie did it, and otherwise it would easily have been removed. But, it's among the Kims, and I would love someone to do it.
Isn't it that sideways side flip aerial thingy? But double? Is that her thing?
Let me find the actual description.
Because they're
I'll do Control F Kim in the Code of Points and it'll be like 9,000 results.
Fact checker was asking me. He was like, how many skills are named after her? And I was like, more than anyone else. Literally more than anyone else. Even Simone. Nellie Kim has one.
It's a beam dismount, free aerial cartwheel into salto backward tucked.
Oh, so it is. So
you start with a cartwheel and then you start with an aerial cartwheel and then you do a back tuck. It's super funky looking, but really cool. And it was removed from the Code of Points. Then Nellie put it back, and it's an E dismount.
It's terrifying.
Go for it.
Because I thought hers was basically a souk off the end, where you do a like a round off onto the end, but then miss your feet and do a back tuck. But it's
aerial, so it's no feet, aerial cartwheel, and then a back tuck,
which is crazy. Oh my god! MP says, "Can someone do an all Kim routine? Create one. You might have to mush the events together.
You have to mush the apparatuses together
to do a full routine. But we could totally create that. I'm writing that down for. Ooh, excuse me, I just hit the microphone for Monday. An all Kim routine. Okay, you guys, I'm on it. I've got this. Okay, Caitlin says,
is it possible to have a Gymnastic episode rating football players' celebration flips? I know you don't care about the sports ball, but a girl can dream. They all get zeros.
Terrible. I think we should do that, and we should probably make it like a TikTok or something, and just have us talking about it. I think that's a great idea. Yes, Sophia Gross just made an appearance in one of those Paradigm videos. I remember. Yes, I witnessed that. It was one of the ones that we were like, what? Happening. I mean, I love that they're promoting mental health. I just found out my insurance covers Headspace and some other meditation app, and I already use Headspace. Very excited about this, you guys. Okay, if you enjoyed if you loved tonight, and you're like, this is what's been missing in my life. Hanging out, drinking amazing cocktails made by a real wonderful cocktail professional, and laughing hysterically about things that may or may not have to do with college gymnastics. Yes, this is what I want to do. Sign up for Club Gym Nerd. Because for the rest of the season, this will be for our club members, because we want to thank them for being club members and for supporting us and for allowing us to fund things like going to NCAA championships, going to world championships. So thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful Friday night, a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday evening-ish. We'll be when the podcast comes out on Monday, because that is when we put out the shows in college season. And if you have any questions, send them to us at gymcast@gmail.com. But if you want to discuss with other people and us to get to them faster, put them in the forum, gymcast.com, in the forum. And also you can give Linzer's ideas for new cocktails in there too. So
I already did. It's called 1-800-Kazakhstan. You're welcome.
I love it. Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy handstands, and we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for listening.